Let's kick things off with the basics. When we say entrepreneur, what exactly are we talking about? The textbook definition is someone who assumes the risk and management of a business, but there's so much more to it, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about risk, though. Let's be honest. There's plenty of that. I always think of entrepreneurs as people with a relentless drive and a knack for spotting opportunities, even when others see only problems.
And I love how the word adventure is actually tied to venture. There's this sense that entrepreneurs are setting off into uncharted territory, sometimes with nothing but a wild idea and a lot of stubbornness.
That's the spirit. They're part explorer, part risk taker, part problem solver. It's a heady cocktail, and not for the faint of heart. But speaking of cocktails, let's swirl around the question, what makes someone actually good at this?
So, what's on the secret ingredient list for a successful entrepreneur? I keep seeing qualities like clear objectives, communication skills, and technical know-how popping up.
Those are huge, but I'd also throw in things like creativity and a willingness to change. Honestly, the ability to pivot when things get weird because they will is priceless. I remember reading about someone who switched from making shoes to mobile apps because they spotted a new demand.
That's such a good point. Vision, resilience, and a dash of stubborn optimism. And let's not forget, entrepreneurs need to be excellent at connecting with people, whether it's customers, investors, or their own team.
For sure. And being a problem solver is basically the job description. Every day, it's a new fire to put out. You ever meet someone who just lights up at the thought of a challenge? That's entrepreneur material right there. By the way, have you noticed how these skills overlap with what big companies want from their entrepreneurs?
That's actually a great segue. Entrepreneurship now, that's a mouthful, but it's such a cool concept, innovating from inside an existing company, not just out there on your own.
Yeah, it's like being an entrepreneur, but with someone else's resources, which, let's be honest, can take a bit of the edge off the risk. I heard one story where a team inside a huge tech company invented a whole new product line because they were encouraged to experiment.
It's almost like being given a safe playground to test wild ideas. You get to shake things up within a big system. Sometimes, entrepreneurs create ventures so successful, they end up spinning off as new companies.
Exactly. And it's neat how it uses the same creative mix of skills, analytical thinking, flexibility, and a touch of that rebellious curiosity. Talking about skills, though, let's rewind a bit. What really motivates someone to take this on in the first place?
Achievement motivation pops up a lot in this field. Apparently, ambition is the lever for all motives. But is motivation something you're born with, or can it be developed?
Funny you ask, because McClellan's research suggests it can definitely be trained. I've seen entrepreneurs who started out pretty timid, and after some hands-on experience and a little nudge from mentors, they just caught fire.
That's inspiring. Sometimes, all it takes is a taste of success or even failure, honestly, to spark that inner drive. And once you're on that path, every challenge feels less like a wall and more like a hurdle.
Completely agree. The hunger to achieve is what keeps entrepreneurs up at night. And when you combine that with a solid set of skills, you start to see why some people just keep going, no matter the setbacks. Which reminds me, there's a whole world of different entrepreneurial styles, right?
Absolutely. There are innovating entrepreneurs, imitating entrepreneurs, Fabian and drone types. Each comes with a different approach to risk and change.
I find Fabian entrepreneurs fascinating. They're so cautious, sticking to tradition unless they're absolutely forced to adapt. On the flip side, drone entrepreneurs refuse to change at all, even if the business is sinking.
It's wild, right? But for a country like India, with so much diversity and dynamism, I feel like the innovating and imitating types have the most impact. They're either driving new ideas or adapting proven ones for local success.
That's true. India's startup scene is booming with people who see opportunity everywhere. Whether it's new tech or a clever twist on something established, it seems like the next chapter is always just around the corner.
And on that note, maybe we should dig into what it takes beyond personality to actually launch and grow a business here. There are so many moving pieces, from project feasibility to financial planning. So, you've got the motivation, the skills, and a type in mind. Now what? Setting up a business is a whole different adventure, with steps like identifying opportunities, selecting the right product, and testing feasibility.
Oh, totally. And it's not just about having a cool idea. You need to screen that idea, research the market, figure out your finances, and seriously plan for every possible scenario. I've seen great ideas flop purely because the groundwork wasn't there.
Yeah, and let's be honest, the paperwork, the finances, the team building it, can feel like you're running a marathon with hurdles. But with the right support, be it training programs, mentors, or government help, it's actually doable.
That's the beauty of it. Entrepreneurship is a wild ride, but you don't have to do it solo. There are so many tools and communities out there. Maybe next time we can unpack the training programs and support systems that really make a difference for new entrepreneurs.